Hey everyone, my name is Ash, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we will be discussing cancel culture. We'll talk about what cancel culture is, the origins of it, who has been canceled, and thoughts regarding cancel culture as a whole. But before we get started, please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. Also, please leave a comment letting me know your thoughts on today's video, as well as other topics you'd want to see in the future. Now, let's get started. At this point, it seems like everyone on every side of the world knows about cancel culture. The term has been passed around a lot in the last couple years. Random people on the internet to high-profile celebrities all have fallen victim to being canceled. But what exactly is cancel culture? There are many different definitions that you can find on the internet, all with varying descriptions. But for this video, the definition I will be using comes from dictionary.com, where it states that cancel culture refers to the popular practice of withdrawing support for public figures and companies after they have done or said something considered objectionable or offensive. Cancel culture is generally discussed as being performed on social media in the form of group shaming. Cancel culture has been known to start trends on Twitter with hashtags containing that so-and-so has been canceled. Early versions of cancel culture came from accounts like Your Fave is Problematic on Tumblr, for example, a blog dedicated to exposing the wrongs of celebrities. The term started to pick up speed around the time of the Me Too movement. As more accusations and arrests regarding assault came up, social media began its process of canceling those it deemed problematic. More recently, the concept of cancel culture has really shifted. In simplified terms, the internet can cancel a person for just about anything. While a good deal of it has been justified, other hashtags have ended up causing unnecessary harm to those involved. Another definition I thought was interesting comes from Urban Dictionary. The first one displayed is a desire to cancel out a person or community from social media platforms, but the one that caught my eye is that it is characterized by the response of an evil individual when they are shown to be wrong. They will call on their followers to report the social media accounts of the person or group that did the criticizing, rather than discussing the criticism or showing by evidence where the criticism is incorrect. I thought this definition was interesting because it shows a different side of the topic of cancel culture, but I will be discussing this in more detail later. The idea that if you do something that others deem problematic, you automatically lose all your currency. Your voice is silenced, you're done. Those who condemn cancel culture usually imply that it's unfair and indiscriminate. The problem that I have with this perspective is cancel culture isn't real, at least not in the way that people believe it is. Instead, it's turned into a catch-all for when people in power face consequences for their actions or receive any type of criticism, something they're not used to. Cancel culture has moved into the domain of call-out culture. People have started calling out big brands, celebrities, and influencers alike on their misdoings. It has also had a hand in showcasing who these companies and people really are and what they stand for in their apology posts and videos. Cancel culture has garnered many different views. While the collective of the internet tends to believe that they're doing more good than harm, cancel culture has extended itself more into personal matters than before. To be specific, I will be talking about cancel culture as it pertains to Twitter, since Twitter is usually the platform that people go to when the discussion of someone getting canceled comes up. Also, when someone is first established as canceled, there seems to be a process that they go through, and it usually starts on Twitter. First, when someone is canceled, there is usually a hashtag about it. While these hashtags have sometimes gotten overridden with K-pop fans using the trend to showcase fan cams, and others posting memes with not much context, after some scrolling, users usually come across the offending material. They then choose if they want to partake in the discussion, either for or against the person getting canceled. This sometimes turns into numerous amounts of hate and even threats to their life. If they're a celebrity or influencer, they may end up losing brand deals. Those who are YouTubers have lost monetization before, and even regular people have lost jobs and college acceptances due to their problematic behavior on social media. However, more recently, cancel culture has even entered the realm of doxing. For those who don't know what doxing is, it is defined as the internet-based practice of researching and publicly broadcasting private or identifying information, especially personally identifying information about an individual or organization. Usually those who have been doxed have been those making problematic comments in old tweets, fake Instagram accounts, and private TikToks. Recently, Sky Jackson came under fire for allegedly doxing a 13-year-old while she was retweeting and sharing tweets sent from fans with personal information about racist users on these platforms. With cancel culture in full force, we have seen countless examples of its impact. The next step is to see how it has truly affected those being canceled. Now that we know what cancel culture is, we can now look into who has been canceled and to what effect. Please keep in mind that some of these situations are still ongoing, and it's currently unclear as to what the final outcome of their career will be. Now, Cardi B is no stranger to being canceled. Early on in her come up, she has been canceled multiple times about her comments regarding transphobia and degrading black women. Most recently, she was canceled for a fake Finsta account where she supposedly talked badly about other female celebrities. When it comes to Cardi B, she's been canceled so often that she doesn't seem to care. Cardi has made apologies regarding some of her past comments, but due to the fact that she is now getting canceled for something she apparently didn't do, she seems to have taken a more comical approach to how she feels about it. Doja Cat was canceled not too long ago for allegedly being on TinyChat with incels and using the N-word with a hard R around men of different races. While she went silent, a complete switch from her usually consistent posting every day, she recently came back slowly, posting about the Black Lives Matter movement, new music, and new music videos. For Doja, much like other celebrities, when they get canceled, they are usually advised by their team to stay off social media for a while and wait for it to blow over. Eventually, they slowly make their way back, posting new content and slowly interacting with fans again. This tactic works so well because the internet tends to forget and move on, allowing celebrities essentially to pick up where they left off. Shane Dawson has recently come into a lot of trouble after old content of his was exposed all over the internet. Shane has been making YouTube videos since 2008, and his years of racist and pedophile posts and videos were made by himself. In Shane's case, he wasn't canceled until he made his comments regarding the beauty community, which was heightened after Tati Westbrook, a beauty guru and ex-friend, made her video regarding him and Jeffree Star. This conversation is still ongoing, seeing as it happened within the past couple weeks, and there's still much to be resolved. Jeffree Star is probably the most infamous of the social media personalities to ever be canceled. He has a rather long-running history of racism, even before his time on YouTube. He has since grown his following, and even received a lot of support after starring in Shane's documentaries. However, like Shane, his past has recently come to surface yet again, and now people are questioning his effect on the beauty community and the YouTube community. Jeffree is one of those people that the internet has never truly been able to cancel. He is currently losing followers and appears to be cutting ties with Shane, but seems rather unbothered by it. He has been seen taking photos with fans, buying cars, and hanging out with Blac Chyna. So while Shane and his own fans have been defending him, he seems pretty unbothered by the drama. Cancel culture affects everyone differently, depending on the severity of their problematic behavior. With that being said, the general public has had to determine who gets canceled. But now the real question arises, is cancel culture even real? And is anyone actually able to truly be canceled? As cancel culture has evolved, people have questioned if it's even a real thing anymore. The common argument is that the original intention has been far surpassed and has now evolved into full-on call-out culture for anything a good amount of people deem unacceptable. Here are some points that articles have discussed regarding the illegitimacy of cancel culture. 1. Cancel culture is performative. It doesn't actually change anything. I found that while it does feel like a decent amount of people aren't here for a brand or person and cancel them, their career and income are never fully disrupted. They may go into hiding, but like the other examples I discussed, they usually get back to work in some capacity. This is possibly due to the fact that these people are still using the brands and supporting the people, whether they've been canceled publicly or not. For example, in a Vox article, it states that though many of the most prominent examples of cancellation have arrived in the Me Too era, most of the men who have faced accusations have also dodged long-term consequences. After multiple women came forward with allegations of misconduct against him in 2017, Louis C.K.'s career hiatus lasted around 10 months before he returned to a stand-up comedy and performed dozens of sold-out, controversial shows. After high-profile documentaries explored allegations of decades of sexual assault against each of them were released earlier this year, both R. Kelly and the late Michael Jackson saw increases in streams of their music rather than decreases. While cancel culture has brought awareness to movements like Black Lives Matter, Me Too, and LGBTQ rights, it has also detracted away from the movements because of negative press, both from internal and external places. Another point is that we don't have a general foundation of what is cancelable and what's not. While certain things are understandable as right or wrong, we rank them on a different spectrum based on our experiences. Because of this, people have voiced their concerns that certain people hadn't been canceled when they were first deemed problematic, and they should have been. For example, Shane's previous history of pedophilia finally was the breaking point of his career, but some feel as though the racism that was more widely known before should have been the breaking point. Not only this, but since there isn't much of a general foundation, we end up falling into a mob mentality, where we just adopt the anger of canceling someone, even if we don't fully understand the problem. This goes into the next point, which is that cancel culture is misguided. While people have done really damaging things that they should be held accountable for, people are also being canceled for one-off problematic stuff. Not only this, but there is a concern of it not really enacting overall change. Erin Rose, a corporate diversity and inclusion and consultant, talks about this in the Vox article, saying, "Mainstream internet activism is a lot of calling out and blaming and shaming. We have to get honest with ourselves about whether calling out and canceling gives us more of a short-term release of cathartic anger. Rose used to think that those tactics created change, he said, but eventually realized that I was not seeing the true change I desired. We were still sad and mad, and the bad people were still bad, and everyone was still traumatized." He says he now wants to create more stories of transformation rather than stories of punishment and excommunication. Due to cancel culture having become rather demonized, people with problematic pasts aren't being canceled. Their fandom protects them, saying they've changed and that the tweets and posts were old. Fans help promote the stereotype that cancel culture is just trying to make their fave look bad, but that isn't its true intention. The next point is that some people who are canceled don't seem to care. Like I stated earlier, Jeffree has been avoiding Dramageddon 3, but staying silent and doing whatever he wants offline. The general idea is that these people don't have to care. Again, fans will protect them, they've already made their money, and people are usually going to still pay attention to them. Cardi B best said it when she made this post about her getting canceled rather recently.
Hi everybody! So that failed attempt that y'all tried to say that I have a fake Instagram like I'm 10 years old. Since it failed, now y'all trying to look up from my past to cancel me, bringing up old. I don't give a. You guys canceled me last year 4 times. The year before that like 5 times. This is what I'm wearing this year to the Cardi B is cancel party. And like, you know, I haven't released any music like in 8 months. So it's like, if I only been posting on Instagram and eating food and that still bothers y'all, that just means I'm really that important in your heart and my presence really bothers your soul. And guess what? I don't give a bye.
The last point is that people who are canceled sometimes don't think that they're in the wrong and think that cancel culture is trying to silence them. While many of those who have been canceled have made their apologies, others have made it apparent that they haven't fully grasped what they've done wrong. This is also coupled with the fact that they sometimes aren't told what they did was wrong because people automatically shun them. This has led to cancel culture shortcomings. After discussing a good amount of what has gone into this internet phenomenon, a question I have for you, the viewer, is do you think that cancel culture has gone too far? Let me know in the comments below. In my personal opinion, I don't believe that cancel culture, as in its actual or original purpose, is real, or at least not anymore. Cancel culture is supposed to be holding people accountable, not just celebrities, but also ourselves. And I believe that for some people, being canceled was necessary, as it helped them learn and grow into better people. However, nowadays it has tended to cause hate, threats, and leaking of personal information. Some quick points I want to touch on are the following. When a celebrity is canceled, not everything that they've been canceled for is a stan or fandom problem. Some of these issues that the celebs get canceled for are actually serious and shouldn't be taken as run-of-the-mill drama. Celebrities are real people who make real mistakes and should be held accountable for the same things that we, as in the masses, would be, especially if it's an actual crime. If you haven't done anything wrong, then you shouldn't be worried about being canceled. I have personally seen many examples of people thinking if they say certain things or act certain ways, that they'll be canceled because society is too sensitive. But my thing is, if you think that what you will do will get you canceled, then it's probably something you shouldn't be doing. If the shoe doesn't fit, you wouldn't shove your foot into it, right? Along with this point, people who find these things offensive should be allowed to speak on such and shouldn't be silenced. Not everyone is going to find the same things offensive, but if a group of people are genuinely hurt by a company or person's actions, they should be given the opportunity to make it known without being suppressed by others because they are uncomfortable. Now the big question, should those who have been canceled have a second chance? My answer is maybe, and here's why. If their behavior has truly changed and they are or have taken the necessary steps into moving forward, then no, they shouldn't be canceled. However, if they haven't made any changes and are continuing to be problematic, then obviously they should be cancelled. I've seen that when tweets or posts from a long time ago come up, we tend to straddle the fence about the situation because usually it has been seen multiple times that people are being cancelled over trivial things that they have said when they were younger, which they probably shouldn't be, but some have been fully grown adults saying the same things, and then we are split based on the situation of what they've said or done. Speaking of that, I found that cancel culture has a tendency to not hold similar situations to similar degrees. For example, when Sky Jackson allegedly doxed a 13-year-old, it made me concerned seeing the timeline dox her right back. Now, I'm not condoning her behavior on the matter, but if it was wrong to dox a minor, then how does doxing her make us better, especially on the similar grounds that Sky is only 18 years old herself? Plus, I noticed Sky received a lot of backlash for it, but other small accounts have also been doxing people, especially teens, who might also still be minors. Now, I do believe it's the child's age that people had an issue with, because the other people who have been cancelled and doxed have been older, but honestly, doxing itself maybe shouldn't be happening anyway. Lastly, the Time article I took points from stated that cancel culture is oversimplified, and I agree. We lump high criminal crimes with cultural appropriation under the same wide umbrella. While both topics are very important, they exist in completely different spaces. Since cancel culture encompasses a lot of different behavior, it does go without question that we can't just compare apples to oranges. But I have found that we don't even hold ourselves accountable for the missteps that we've made with cancel culture. And as a society, we should. If we can't even hold ourselves accountable, we will never truly accomplish anything that cancel culture intended for us, and for the rest of the world. Anyways, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment letting me know your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!